I was listening today to one of my favorite motivational speakers from, well, one of the original sort of speakers of self-improvement, which is Earl Nightingale. And he has this wonderful, deep baritone voice. I believe he started in radio, but he's really known as the Dean of Self-Improvement. Um, I believe I'm not sure the decades when he did most of his speaking, but today I was listening to a recording where he was talking about the most important word in any language in any country, and that is really the word attitude. This is the gift that humans have been given. We weren't born with incredible strength or sharp teeth or camouflage like a lot of animals in the animal kingdom. But one could argue that we were gifted something immeasurably more beneficial, which is our mind, our ability to adapt a certain attitude. And this is something that resonated with me, and I think could apply to everybody and whomever is watching this, is that attitude is really the key to unlocking a lot of success in different areas. And I don't know if it's necessarily having a positive attitude or an attitude of, maybe one could say, a mindset, but yeah, an attitude of maybe not sweating the small things, or um, an approach, a mindset, an attitude of appreciating the small gains, small steps, not giving into fear, or not listening to maybe your inner doubt, things like this. An attitude of just kind of, it almost has a lot to do, I think, with relaxing, not worrying too much, not getting in your own way. Mostly this is in the context of self-improvement, whether you're trying to get in better shape, maybe you're trying to improve your strength or some mobility within the gym or exercise. But in that context, what is the right attitude? What is the attitude, for example, that you need to take or that I need to take? For me, I think the attitude that's most beneficial is just an attitude of, well, clearly being positive, which probably sounds a bit cliche, but from the context of trying to improve in a physical and emotional, or, mental level, I think it's really just an attitude of putting the work in, not worrying about yesterday, not worrying about tomorrow, just trying to have an attitude of, let me let me do my best today. Let me put in the work today. Let me not get too down, or let me not dwell on things that are not really going to help me. An attitude of self-belief, self-preservation, an attitude that if I work on myself, I can help others. An attitude of not too much external consumption. It's like I think consuming too much news, or consuming too much negative thoughts from maybe those around you, or even social media, it's very easy to gain an attitude of, oh, everything is bad, and why even bother, and this kind of attitude that is perpetuating and doesn't really help you in your daily activity. So I think this might get into just sort of simplifying your life, adopting an attitude where you are really just focused on simplicity, and you're focused on the things that are you're focused on the positive things, the things that are going to actually build you up. Almost like, I keep on sort of stopping myself, because I don't necessarily know if it's an attitude. I mean, your attitude is something that you can change, you can choose, but maybe it's interchangeable with the word mindset, in the sense that, for example, if I am about to eat something that I know I shouldn't be eating, of course, I do allow myself to have some cheat meals, or, times when I can plan to have something. But if there's times when I know I'm going to, like, for example, the way I was able to stop drinking, because I would always try to stop drinking. I would last about a week, and then I would just completely break down and say to myself or think, I need a drink. I'm stressed. And I would go back to, have a drink, and then I would feel bad the next day, and I would say, I'm never going to drink again. And then, I'd last a week or two, and then I'd go back to drinking. How did I break that cycle? Well, a lot of it was I clearly had the right attitude. My attitude was I wanted to, treat myself well. I was trying to remain positive in terms of my attitude, but the mindset, I had to adopt the right set to start introducing the right habits. The habit of clearly going a long a period of time without drinking, and then the habit of replacing alcohol with things that were good for me, like taking a walk or going to the gym or reading a book, things that I could do that would help me relax and not having to rely on alcohol to help me relax, when it was really doing the opposite. It was just causing more stress and strife. But one mind shift that I made was before I would engage in drinking, and I try to do this also with like eating some food that I'm not going to feel great the next day, is really putting myself, imagining myself how I'm going to feel afterwards, trying to think of the future. In this setting, it is actually good. Well, in my case, it's been good to think ahead. How am I going to feel the next day? Am I going to be able to get up and go to the gym? Am I going to really put in a good workout? Am I going to feel like I have the energy to hang out with my family or, show up as my best self? The answer is a resounding no. As a matter of fact, with alcohol, I'm going to feel sluggish. I'm not going to sleep well. The next day, I'm going to probably reach for some comfort food. Chances are I'm going to put off the gym and say, oh, I'm tired. I need to recover. I'm going to wake up tired, pounding coffee. So yeah, I think I've kind of gone into a tangent of mindset, but they're closely related: attitude, mindset. So really the overarching idea is the great gift we've been given is our mind. And with our mind, we have the power of setting our attitude, setting our mindset. It's almost like everything we want to achieve, our goals, success, anything we want to do, it starts with a certain mindset. And again, I know this sounds cliche and it's probably over, talked about on, online or wherever. It's kind of gone to a point where it might be very obvious. But I always like to remind myself, because I've managed to make significant progress with just a mindset, or an attitude of, don't worry about failing. Don't worry about not seeing progress every single day. Just put in the work. An attitude of patience, an attitude of humility, an attitude of appreciating the small gains, and even appreciating the failures, like the times that I would get injured. Maybe it sounds odd, but I would appreciate that, because it would reveal weaknesses that I had, or it would reveal exercises I shouldn't be doing, or weights that I shouldn't be lifting, that are way too heavy for me. So yeah, attitude, mindset, they should be really, for you or myself or whomever, should be constant companions. But yeah, that's really the gist of it. Check out Earl Nightingale if you haven't heard of him, or listened to any of his tapes or talks. They're really great. They're almost like hypnotic. Another good one's Brian Tracy. Maybe he listened to Earl Nightingale. Zig Ziglar. There's a lot of classic sort of motivational speakers. And yeah, hopefully you're making it a great day.